Thank you for coming to Compass Starlight. This is going to be an energy read. I am not going to use cards today because I don't necessarily need them. The cards just help to illustrate and depict different energies. But if we look around us at the things that transpire, there is truth in the universal echo. If we look around us in the natural world, there's truth there as well. So I just decided to come to a quiet place for reflection. So what's the energy for this weekend moving into the week next week? It is a very high vibe coming in. High frequency. You may be feeling that. A smile on your face for no apparent reason other than perhaps a reconnection with self, reconnection with your own identity, the core of yourself. I find it very interesting that there were things that were perhaps prophesized over a year ago, going into perhaps as far back as 2 years ago, and things that were prophesized were things that I could imagine based on the people I knew at the time and the circumstances I was in at the time. I could imagine how things could unfold. But it's so interesting to me how time has lagged. I wanted to say something about time, but I can't think of it. It's transient? That's not quite it either. It doesn't really exist in the 5D. So what I'm getting at is that based on the people I knew at the time and the circumstances to which I was exposed and familiar at the time, I could imagine how the prophecies would unfold or could unfold. And then it seemed like these things never transpired. They didn't fully flush out. It's like a blossom growing on a plant, and perhaps the plant doesn't have enough water. So when during the portion of time in which the blossom would be gaining its strength, its nutrients in order to produce a beautiful flower, it didn't have enough, and it would sort of fizzle out. The blossom might drop from the plant, or it might bloom, if it blooms at all, and be a sort of wilty looking thing. In other words, the prophecies didn't quite come to fruition. The manifestations really is what they are. And time has passed, and now I've met new people. I've engaged in different circumstances. I've expanded. And finally, I'm seeing some of these things bear themselves, manifest, show themselves, come to fruition in my life. And it's wild, because I'm seeing all of these things come true, but for people I didn't know at the time, the things were prophesized, or for situations I had no idea, I couldn't have possibly been aware of at the time. Do you identify with that? Is there anything in your life you could see coming down the line, but it's come in such a different way than you could have imagined it to? Now, for further expression of this point, what has taken so long? For me personally, it is lessons that I've had to learn over and over again, and perhaps there are new layers to the same lesson that when I think I'm done, but yet there's something else. And perhaps a few weeks back, or maybe even a month, I found myself in a situation that it wasn't quite uncomfortable, but it was displeasing. And someone nearby to me asked me, "Have you had enough of this?" I was being approached by someone, a stranger, someone unfamiliar to me, who thought that they could have access to me, to my body, to touch my hair. And it was far beyond what I would tolerate. But this person, someone I knew, asked me, "Have you had enough of this guy yet?" I said, "Yep." And he sent him on his way. And it made me realize that sometimes I'm just too nice in situations like that. I want to be kind to people. I don't want to be abrasive. But there's definitely room to stand up for myself a bit more. So over the course of the weekend, in the next 4 to 5 days, you may find that you need to stand up for yourself a bit more. Yes, that is something I am pulling from the energy. It is not just me. You may need to stand your ground a bit. You may need to illustrate where a line is drawn so that others do not cross it. This is about holding yourself in high regard, knowing your value, knowing your self-worth. And what else can I say about that? There are other circumstances that are very similar. Again, the echo, it reverberates over and over again. And so though that particular situation transpired perhaps a month ago, it is still echoing, and I am still finding where I need to stand up for myself and be bolder and more assertive. And that is one of the lessons that's come with some of the challenges or situations, perhaps, that are coming up. And so, until I get it right, until I perfect my skills, and if it were a tarot card, it might be that 5 of Wands, standing your ground, sparring, honing your skills. I am seeing the sun come up. If you've been working on yourself, we will be reborn in the heart of the sun, and it is beautiful. It is glorious. The sun is rising, and I am feeling it, and that is that high vibe, that high frequency of which I speak, that good feeling. It is like something that we could see a year and a half ago, something that we wanted, something to which we aspired, something we wanted to achieve. And as time has passed, it's almost barely seemed like a lost hope. But whoa, yay, do not give up hope. If you are working on yourself, if you are learning from the lessons, finding the truth therein, this sun is rising, your frequency is rising, and this hope, have hope, because it's coming for you. Something very good. If you can get to a point where you are aligned with yourself so that you can put yourself in any situation and be aligned with that situation or people. It seems a little bit odd to say to be aligned with yourself, because I think for a long time I thought, well, I am me, I am aligned with myself. But I've really come to learn the difference, really come to learn what it means to be aligned with self. And it is tapping into that channel of fullness, of the divine within, knowing truth, listening to the echo, and knowing your self-worth, knowing yourself, knowing your strength, knowing your capacity to love. Love is a big component to that happiness, to that joy, loving yourself first and sharing that with the world. So, as you move through the weekend and you encounter different people, different individuals, how can you open yourself up to put an authentic smile in your eyes and on your face, to greet, to meet anyone and everyone with cheer, with that light that comes from within you? It is not at the expense of your boundaries. It is not at the expense of the ground that you have to stand. It is a strength that you can share kindness and love and compassion and move through it and not attach to it. If you have a chance, if you have some time over the course of the weekend, you might consider reflecting on certain patterns or lessons that you have been learning. Reflect on how far you have come, what you have learned, and how much you've grown. Give yourself applause. Give yourself recognition and be proud of yourself for the growth, the progress that you have made, because it will bring you to a fuller point, a point of alignment, a place where you can connect with that which is meant for you, your true abundance. That is the message for the weekend reading. Thank you for coming to my channel, Compass Starlight.